Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pathway to NHS YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Amanda Gate, and I'm just here to speak to foreign medical trained doctors and nurses to keep them updated on the various avenues or ways they can come to work in the UK as a doctor or as a nurse. There are quite a number of pathways that we can use. Most of us are not so informed about these pathways because of false information that seems to be going around. My aim here basically is to just keep us updated, just share my experience because I'm currently a doctor here and I went through the foundation program. So I'm going to share my experiences. I'm going to be doing teaching sessions just to help people with IELTS, OET, PLAB 1 and PLAB 2. And yes, just to keep you updated because things keep changing as time progresses. So, yep, that's what this channel is about. So if this is what you're looking for, I'll just encourage you to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button so that whenever we share or upload a video, you'd quickly be notified and then you can keep yourself updated as well. So for today, we'll be speaking just a bit about the 2-year foundation program. It's going to be brief, but I'm thinking that's going to be very informative for you so you can know something about the 2-year foundation program. Right, so let's just get on with it. So we'll be speaking about the 2-year foundation program. So when we say 2-year foundation program, it's quite clear. It's going to last for 2 years and it's a foundation or a basic program. It's a training program. So basically the usual thing is once you're done with medical school, you go back to your home country and then do your house job, get your full license, and wherever you want to go to, that's your choice. But this program was started just in 2019 and gives doctors the opportunity to come into the UK to work or to do their training job or house job right after medical school. And that's what this program is about. So that being said, means that if you've done your internship or your house job in any country whatsoever, you do not qualify for this program. You're not eligible for it. But for those who haven't done it at all, are eligible to partake in this program. Okay, so let's just move on quickly. So the 2-year foundation program is basically under the UK Foundation Program Office, the UKFP. They are in charge of it. And so you have to meet certain requirements. You have to apply. But it isn't just paperwork where you have to just sign or write a letter, get a CV and just send it off. No, you have to go through certain processes. So there are some accounts you need, and I've listed them here. You need a GMC account and you need an Oriel account. So I'll speak about the Oriel account first. So Oriel is basically a UK-wide portal. It's a portal that helps with recruitment of pharmacists, doctors, public health officials, healthcare scientists, and all of that. It's basically just a portal for applying to various vacancies or jobs. Yeah. So that's what the UKFP uses for foundation program and F2 standalone. Now, once you are going through Oriel, you have to create an account. It's free and you can create it at any time. So I encourage you to create this account and then just explore the site a bit so you get familiar with it. One other account you also need is the GMC account. So GMC stands for General Medical Council, and that is literally the organization that controls more like the activities of doctors in terms of our ethics, and they're in charge of our license as well. Everything goes under GMC. So that's it. You also need an account there. Now, the reason why GMC account is very important is that you can't write your PLAB 1 or PLAB 2 exam without GMC because you have to upload your IELTS or your OET results up on GMC, and then you'd be able to book a seat for PLAB 1 or for PLAB 2. So GMC account is very important. Now, I've received several questions about the fact that can you create a GMC account whilst you're in medical school? Yes, you can. You can actually create an account. The thing is, you may not be able to book your PLAB 1 seat if you're not done with medical school, because whilst you're filling out the form, there's a portion where you'll be asked of your date of graduation. And obviously it will have to be a date that is before that day that you are, applying. So if you've not graduated, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to book PLAB 1 before you're done with medical school. But you can create the account before you're done with medical school. Once you create the account, a reference number will be generated for you, and that reference number is what you'll be using throughout for your applications. You'll be using that to write your PLAB 1 and your PLAB 2 as well. It becomes something like your identification number as a registered doctor. Great. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we'll speak about basic requirements to meet eligibility criteria. Now, if you're going to apply for the 2-year foundation program, there's a window that's open for you to submit certain documents to prove that you're going to be eligible for this particular program. And that's what is called the eligibility application window. It's usually opened between mid-July to first or second week in August. The dates vary, so you just have to be on the lookout for that kind of update. Now, when that eligibility window opens, by then you should have certain documents, like I mentioned, and that's what we're going to speak about. The first thing you should have is your primary medical qualification. You should have graduated from medical school by then, or be about 6 months just before graduation. So what I'm trying to say is that it's either you've already graduated and have your medical certificate or diploma, or you would be just 6 months away from your graduation date. And now, if that's going to be the case for you, you have to speak to your dean or your rector to give you a letter to prove that indeed you're actually going to be done with school or uni in the next 6 months. But that situation is quite dicey, So what I would advise is that if you find yourself in such a situation, send an email to UKFP about your situation and tell them that you can actually get a letter from your school. And if that's accepted, you can go ahead to do that, just so that you are not taking it back. But the best thing is to be done with medical school, get your certificate, and then apply. The next thing you also need is English proficiency. So you would either need IELTS or you need OET, or if you schooled somewhere where you did your medical practice and you did more than 75% of your medical practice in English, then you can use that. Now, the trick about that is it's not always accepted for certain countries, even if that country is an English-speaking country. So you'd have to inform the UKFP, ask them through an email, just to be certain that yours is going to be accepted. If not, and you want to be on the safest side, go and take an exam, either the IELTS or OET. If you're applying for a 2-year foundation program, you need IELTS minimum of 7.5 band in each of the domains and an overall of 7.5 and above. I'm going to repeat that again. You need a minimum of 7.5 in speaking, 7.5 in writing, 7.5 in reading, and 7.5 in listening. That's a minimum of that point or above in each of them, and an overall of 7.5 and above. That's what is accepted. The reason why I'm stressing on this is because for PLAB, you don't need 7.5, you need 7.0. So if you've already taken your IELTS and you intend to go through the UKFP, and the IELTS you used previously for your PLAB was 7.0, or you didn't get 7.5 in any of the domains, I'm sorry, but you would have to take the IELTS again and get 7.5 and above. The other alternative is to do the OET, score a minimum of 400, and you're good to go. Make sure you get ample time to take this exam and get your certificate. Most people always delay in doing this test, and yes, they literally miss the application window because they are just waiting for their IELTS certificate. Please don't put yourself in such a position. Always make sure that you are prepared ahead of time. Like I said, the window always opens in July, between July and August. So that means that by June, you should have written your IELTS and have your certificate. Right. So moving on, the next thing we actually need now is something called a Dean Statement, which is a form that you download from the UKFP website, fill it out and send it to your dean to complete the form, sign it and stamp. I'll show you more of it in the coming slides. You need a valid passport. You also need an official passport photo. With the guys, wear a shirt neatly buttoned with a blazer. That's fine. Or you can just wear a nice long sleeve shirt. Look smart in it. Ladies, just look very smart. Don't look too casual. Don't look semi-professional. Just look official. You also need either your PLAB results or proof of your PLAB booking. Now, you realize I mentioned earlier that this 2-year program is for those who have not done internships. So most of you who will apply will be those who just graduated from medical school. So you wouldn't have taken the PLAB exam at all, or at least you would have just taken PLAB 1. Now, there's no cause for alarm here. You don't have to panic if you haven't taken it at all. All you have to do is ensure that you book PLAB 1 before the end of the year, and then you'll be sent an email of your booking confirmation. So you just get either a screenshot or a PDF of that and upload it on the Oriel site. So that's going to be proof of the PLAB booking so that UKFU knows that you are going to take the exam, and they'll give you a deadline to meet that. Right. So if you're able to get all of these documents and upload them on the Oriel website within their eligibility application window, if everything goes just as planned, you should receive an email about 2 or 3 weeks after the eligibility window closes that you are eligible with conditions. It's going to come with conditions because some of you would not have your PLAB results then. You would not have your right to work or your working permit by then. You wouldn't have your license by then. So most of you are going to be eligible with conditions. That's a good thing. That means that you still are in the application process. You just be given deadlines to meet. And the sad thing is if you don't meet your deadlines, you'll be dropped out of the application process. So keep that in mind and just gather these before the eligibility application window opens. Okay. Right. I'm not sure if you can see this clearly, but this is how the Dean Statement looks like. It's 2 pages. So this is an example. So this was for 2021. For each year, there's a new one that comes, so you have to download it and use it. You can't use a previous year's Dean Statement for another year's application. It has to be from the same year. This year, I don't think the Dean Statement has been released yet, but whatever the case is, I would update you on our social media pages. Right, so you just fill out applicant's name, the uni, and this says, I give permission for the applicant. Yes, so your dean will fill this out, fill everything out. Now, when you get here, it says that I confirm that all examinations undertaken by the applicant during his or her primary medical qualification will be or were solely in English. Yes, but this is where the issue is. For those of you who studied in countries where English is in the main language, like Ukraine or Russia or China, your answer would be no for most of you. I confirm that the applicant's PMQ will include or included at least 75%. That's not going to be the case for you. And do not try to lie, because once you lie, you automatically be dropped out of the application process, which would be a shame. So just be truthful. Now, this is the most important part of this dean statement, the decile ranking. I just want to quickly explain that. So decile means 10, split into 10. So what happens is that you can take your time and read what it simply means, but I'll try to explain it here. You have to put the total number of students in the applicant's year group, example 150. So in my year group, we were about 140 or 150. So if let's say we're 200, I'll put 200 in here. And then my position will come here. So say if my position was 10, I have to put my position here. Now to calculate it, you have to split it into 10. So 200 divided by 10 would be 20. So it will be in groups of 20, 10 groups of 20. Let me take that portion again. If you use the example that was given here, they give 150 as the total number of students over here. And to split that up, you have to divide it by 10. So that means that would be a group of 15. So from position number 1 to position number 15 are going to be in the first decile. From position number 16 to position number 30 will be in the second decile, and so on and so forth. If it's 200, position number 1 to the 20th position will be first decile. From 21 to 40 will be the second decile. From 41 to 60 will be third decile, and so on and so forth. That's it. So you put your position, your overall position here. If it's 5, you put 5 there. And your ranking will be based on this division I just spoke about. Yeah. And so your dean has to sign, or your rector has to sign, and then stamp it here. Now, the stamp or the seal of the school is very important. So don't think you can just sign something and no, you have to sign. The dean will have to sign and then put a stamp there as well. Right. Okay. So this is basically it. So they're going to always be 10 decile rankings because, like I said, you are splitting the total number into 10. Whatever the number is, the total number of people in your year batch is, you're going to end up having 10 different groups. So if you are in the first decile, using the example of 200 total number of students, those who fall in the first decile will be those in between the first position and the 20th position. So those people will get 50 points for their application. That's just from the educational performance or your academic performance. That's the score you're going to get. Previously, it was 43 points for the first decile until the end. So 43, 42, 41, just until the end. But just this year, it's been revised because previously you get 43 points for your decile ranking if you're in the first decile. And then there were other educational achievements that needed to be added, like PhD in certain universities and certain degrees, postgrad degrees would give you other points, and also publications in PubMed. Unfortunately, most of us were not exposed to it, or most of us in certain countries like Ukraine, Russia, and China, and I know that they are not exposed to some of these things. So back then, most of us lost a whole 7 points because we didn't have postgraduate or PhDs, and we didn't have any of those publications. But now this year, thankfully, it's been taken out. So once you fall in the first decile ranking, you get 50 points, which is amazing. Now, the other 50 points you have to work on is going to be for SJT, which is situational judgment test. For the SJT, I'll speak about that in a separate video because that also needs a whole explanation on its own. But like I said, this is just an intro to give you an idea of what the foundation program is about. Yes. So do well to get your dean statement sorted out. Yes, and let your dean fill out the information. For those of you who schooled in Ukraine, you were asking about CROC or state exam. So your dean is supposed to fill this information out. So they would determine which of your rankings or your grades they will use. So it's solely up to them and not up to you. and not up to me either. So I can't give you a definite answer. You'd have to speak to your dean about it. Yes, so that's about it. So this carries 50 points. SJT carries a total of 50 points. A total of these scores is what will determine if you're going to get the ranking, the first ranking you made, as in terms of the deanery you want to work in or the hospital you want to work in. They use your score and the expectation of that particular deanery to determine if you're going to get into that deanery or you won't get into the deanery. But not to worry if you don't get your first deanery. Just rank it in such a way that you won't miss out if you miss your first ranking. I'll talk about those in subsequent videos that will also come up as to how to rank your deaneries and how to rank your rotations in hospitals as well. Yes, that's it. Okay, guys, so that's the end of today's session. Just follow us on these social media channels, and also, once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you need to send me something, if you have a particular question you can just drop that in the chat section or just email it to ukdoctor21@gmail.com, and I'll respond whenever I see it. And I hope this session was quite informative for you and helpful. Let me know in the comments below as well. Great. Thank you.